Hold up, wait 1 second. You're not going to want to move to San Diego until you know the negatives and positives. Right now, we're going to break down the pros and the cons of living in San Diego in 2024. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, and you guys are reaching out all the time, and we love helping you out. So if you're thinking about making a move in or around San Diego, just shoot us a text, shoot us an email, or just straight up give us a call so we can help you save a ton of time and just help you make a smooth move to possibly San Diego if you're watching this video. So look, San Diego is an amazing city and there's so many great things about it, but I definitely feel like it's not for everybody. Actually, I don't feel like it. I know it's not for everyone. Now, I'm born and raised here, and if you're lucky enough to have visited San Diego, then you know how awesome it can really be. But on the other hand, if you've lived here for a little bit or thinking about living here, then it's gonna be a completely different story and you're gonna learn a lot of the not so good things. So I really want to break down the negatives along with the positives to help you really figure out if San Diego is ultimately for you. So let's start with the pros. The first one being the beach. Now, do you like the beach? Because I absolutely love the beach, but I can tell you right now that there is a ton of people that live in San Diego that never even go to the beach. So just a little bit of a pro tip, if you don't really mind the beach and want to be close to it and you're looking for more just moderate temperatures, cooler temperatures, move a little bit inland because it's going to be a lot less expensive. Now, when it comes to beach access, well, first off, you have about 70 miles of coastline through San Diego County. So that is a giant coastline, and we have some absolutely beautiful beaches. And depending on where you choose to call home in San Diego, you're going to have different types of beach access. If you live in North County, San Diego, you are going to have beach access basically all the way up from Solana Beach, or I should say Del Mar, going all the way up to Oceanside. So a ton of beach access. I want to say every half a mile you're going to have access to the beach or stairs down or something like that. You have so many different options too when it comes to beaches. You got boardwalks if you just want to walk on the boardwalk and be on the beach and not have to get your feet in the sand. You're gonna have dog beaches, which are literally just dedicated for the good old doggos, so you can take them, you can have them off leash, and they can run around with the other dogs. You're gonna have piers pretty much all over San Diego as well, and you're also going to have beaches with not so much sand, where you kind of have to time the tides specifically, and other beaches where there's just a ton of sand. And as you start to head more central San Diego down to South County, you're gonna see a little bit more limited beach access. Sure, there's still gonna be beaches down there, but it's gonna be a little bit harder to find beach accesses down there. And if you're big into fishing, you have a ton of harbors throughout San Diego County where you can actually launch your boat, which is amazing. Plenty of fresh seafood around as well. But what I'd really like to say is if you're looking to live close to the beach, each of these different beaches or beach communities are going to have a completely different feel than the next. Imperial Beach down in the south is going to feel completely different than Oceanside way up in the north. So depending on what your flavor is and what your budget is, you're going to have different options if you do want to live close to the beach. Even if you want to live 45 minutes from the beach, that is not a bad option too, because it's not too far to have a quick beach day. Next up is safety. Now, this is a extremely hot topic because obviously we all want to feel safe. We want our family to be safe. We want our kids to be safe and not have to worry about that stuff. And there's actually several articles out there that actually rank San Diego as one of the safer cities in the entire US. And the general rule is it's known to be pretty safe throughout San Diego County. Now, obviously there is some areas and some locations that are not so good. I mean, that's going to happen anywhere. But it generally is a place that people really seem to gravitate towards because it's known to be one of the safer cities, and it just doesn't have all that craziness happening all the time. Now, we probably all know that feeling in your gut where you're just in a weird, sticky, unsafe situation and you just have that weird feeling. I mean, I've had that feeling many times traveling and being in different countries that just aren't the safest. But have I ever had that feeling living in San Diego? I've never once felt like that. And I think it has a lot to do with how there's just so many master planned areas that are just very clean. You have very nice shopping plazas, depending on where you're at, that are really clean as well. So it just brings in a better crowd, and it just feels a lot safer. Next is the parks, trails, and lakes. If you love the outdoors, then look no further than San Diego. San Diego is very big on the outdoor activities because, let's face it, our weather year-round is literally perfect. So it gives you the chance to always be outside. And we have, just in San Diego County, over 400 parks. We got over 40,000 acres of developed and undeveloped open space. So it really just helps get you outside and help you utilize the great outdoors. Now, some really notable parks that, if you haven't been there or you had the chance to go, I would definitely recommend checking these out. But one is going to be Balboa Park, which is massive. This one's going to be just right outside of downtown San Diego. You're also going to have the San Diego Park, which is up there in North County, San Diego, just east of Solana Beach. You're also going to have Kate Sessions Park, which is one of my favorite viewpoints. This is a massive park. It gets crazy, crazy busy. Saturdays, Sundays, people are having picnics. But on a super clear day, you can see all the way to Mexico, so drop dead gorgeous. And of course, you have the Mission Bay Park, which is massive as well. And depending on which neighborhood you choose to call home, chances are you'll probably have a pocket park close by, which is just a smaller neighborhood park that usually has like a jungle gym or a playground for the kiddos. So these are all over the place as well, which is amazing. And not to mention trails. If you love trails, there is trails and more trails all throughout San Diego County, especially on East County, North County. Just go to all trails and you will definitely get your mind blown because there's a ton of great hikes on there. And it's funny because no one ever really thinks about lakes when you're thinking about San Diego, but if you are looking for some lake life, whether you want to go fishing or maybe you just want to do some hiking around a body of water, you're actually going to have a ton of options. Just even in North San Diego, you're going to have Lake San Marcos, which is in San Marcos. You're going to have Lake Hodges, which is one of the few lakes in Escondido. You're also going to have, to the south and central areas, you're going to have Lake Murray along with Lake Miramar, just to name a few. Which is a great segue into the next one because San Diego is great for families. Now, it has everything to do with some of the stuff I'm going to talk about and some of the stuff I've already talked about, like the outdoor activities. This is huge for families. Safety. Part of the reason why it's so safe here in San Diego is because it is so family oriented. You have so many families moving here for those better schools, for the outdoor activities, just for more of that type of lifestyle. The next pro is the schools in San Diego. San Diego is very well known for having a ton of very highly rated schools, public schools, throughout the entire county. And depending on where you're going to be living, you're going to have a ton of different unified school districts to choose from, and a lot of them are very, very highly regarded. Just to name a few, you're going to have the Poway Unified School District, you're going to have Coronado School District, Carlsbad Unified School District, San Marcos Unified School District. All these are very, very well known and very, very sought after. And especially if you're looking for a private school or maybe you're looking for STEM schools, you're going to have a ton of options throughout San Diego as well. And if you have an athlete in the family, whether they're in middle school or high school or wherever they're at in their lives, but they are an athlete, you are going to have some very, very well-known high schools with some really good athletic programs here as well. Next is the employment opportunities, and here in San Diego, we have so many different options depending on what sector you're looking in, especially tech. I mean, we have Apple, you have Tesla, you have Amazon. Those are some of the biggest employers. And then also when you're looking in the military defense presence, I want to say that's one of our biggest employers in San Diego County. You have so many different bases here. You're going to have a Navy base, you're going to have Coast Guard, you're going to have multiple branches of the Marine Corps. So that one's going to be huge because a lot of those people that even just move here to work at these areas, a lot of the military, eventually they retire and they go on to a different job, which sometimes is tech, maybe it's healthcare, and they have so many different options. So a lot of these people end up staying in San Diego for the long haul, which kind of leads me into healthcare as well, because you have a ton of healthcare centers all throughout San Diego County. I mean, it's crazy to me how many options you have, and it's pretty cool too, especially if you're thinking about retiring. This is going to be a great place to be because you just have so many options depending on the healthcare provider or center that you're really looking for. Before we get into these cons, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that like button. It means the world to us. And remember, as much as we love making these videos for you guys, we love helping you with your real estate needs just a little bit more. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Now let's move into these negatives, some of these cons. Now the first con is going to be the house prices here in San Diego. And the very, very crazy part about this is about 4 to 5 years ago, Home prices here were very, very inexpensive in my opinion. We're looking at a median home value in 2024 at about $820,000. So that's up about 9% just year over year, and it's up a whole lot, especially over that 5-year span. Now, what you really want to understand that if you are like most people and you're calling in looking for a single family detached home, you want a little backyard, you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it is extremely difficult to find something under that $900,000, especially in a really, really good location. You will have plenty of townhome and condo options in the lower price points, but even those are gonna run you about $600,000, going well up into the millions. And for my people that really want that detached home, let's just say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at about 1,500 square feet, those are realistically going to start at about $800,000, and it's going to be one of the more competitive price ranges, especially if you're looking for a detached home. And if you really want that 4+ bedroom home, let's say around 2,200 square feet, maybe bigger, big yard, nice location, good schools, it's realistically going to start at about $1.2 million, going well up into the multi-millions. Now, you will find cheaper pockets throughout San Diego County, but it's really going to depend on what you're looking for. Next is the drivers in traffic. Now, you have to really keep in mind that a lot of these roads in San Diego were designed 30, 40 plus years ago. So they were not built with the anticipation for the growth that San Diego's really seen. Now, sure, a lot of these freeways and highways have been, or I should just say intersections as well, have seen a ton of retrofitting, which has led to a ton of construction, which leads to traffic. But once this gets done, like a lot of the lane widening, we've done a ton of it in the past few years, but this has really helped and kind of made traffic a little bit less. But it still happens because more and more people are coming to San Diego. Sure, a lot of people are leaving, but it just adds to the traffic. San Diego doesn't really have that crazy city traffic like you're gonna see up in Los Angeles or up in San Francisco or New York or anything like that where it's bumper to bumper, for 2 to 3 hours a day. You don't really see that here. It's a lot more spread out and a little bit more, patchy depending on where you live. I will say if you live in Central or South San Diego, you're going to see a lot more traffic down there because there is a lot more highways. So you're just going to have more, more people commuting and more traffic. But up in North County, it's a little more spread out and a little more patchy. The goal is to really find areas where you don't really have to drive far. And I know a lot of us really don't have to commute for work very often. Maybe you have to do it 2 to 3 times a week, but a lot of us can work at home. We work remote, so we don't have to drive these far distances. So the goal really is to find areas where you're only about 10 minutes away from a shopping center, because that's all you're going to be doing is just getting outdoors. You're going to go to the shopping center to get that stuff. Maybe you're going to drop the kids off at school. So you want to find an area where you're all within about a 10-minute drive, because this will save you a big headache and you won't be getting so stressed out in the car with traffic. And not only have I heard it from people that have moved here, but with my own 2 eyes, I see this pretty darn often, almost daily, is just people driving extremely crazy. It's something you need to expect when you're moving here, because people like to drive really fast here, and you might think you're driving fast in the fast lane going, 75. Guess what? There's probably someone behind you that's speeding up going 85, maybe 90, gonna pass you. So people like to drive very fast here, and they like to be in the carpool lane all the way on the left, and they see an exit coming up that they totally forgot they had to make, and they will cross over all 4, 5 lanes just to get to that exit. So just beware and understand that could happen. The next big con is the lack of newer homes here in San Diego. This has got to be one of the, I wouldn't say the top requests, but a lot of the times when you guys are calling in, one of the main needs is you want a newer home. If it's not new construction, you want it to be built within the last 10 years. And I'm here to tell you that here in San Diego, that is extremely difficult to find. A new home in San Diego, to me, is anything built in 2000 and newer. A lot of old homes here in San Diego, homes that were built in the 60s, honestly, homes that were built in the 20s sometimes, if you're looking in more of central San Diego, like North Park, you have some really old historic homes, a lot of old neighborhoods, but there is a giant lack in need for new construction, which you're just not gonna see a whole lot of. And if you do, it's gonna have a pretty penny attached to it, especially townhomes. You can sometimes find new construction townhomes for, $600,000 going up, but most of your options are gonna be $800,000 going up. And it's really gonna mostly be East County, San Diego is where you're gonna find a lot more new construction, because that's where there is room to build. But even with single family, I have not seen many single family homes pop up for sale that are new construction under that $1 million price point, more like 1.1, 1.2, going well up into higher price ranges. The next con is the plane noises. You'd be surprised, but there is a lot of aircrafts always in the air here. And especially, you know, the international airport is down in downtown San Diego. So it's right in the heart. So if you live anywhere just outside of downtown San Diego, Point Loma, Claremont, areas like this, you're going to hear the airplanes more than often. Especially, we're kind of scattered here when it comes to airports. A lot of them are smaller, they're private, but you have, well, I guess going back to the military presence, you have a lot of air stations kind of all over. You have Miramar, you're going to have planes and helicopters taking off of Camp Pendleton and Oceanside. You're going to have the Carlsbad Airport. So you have so many different little airports. So this can create some noise. And I'll actually have a map pull up right here where there is just, it kind of shows the noise pollution. They have plenty of maps like this. If you need this, feel free to email us and we will definitely send you one, but you could probably find one online that'll be really helpful for just trying to avoid some of these plane pollution areas. But something you probably should know as a person that's lived here for a very long time, I don't even notice half the time there's a plane near me or anything like that, just because it's really become white noise. And I feel like a lot of people that have moved here, it might bother them for, you know, a couple months, but eventually it likely becomes white noise and you don't even notice it anymore. So literally living here for 33 years now, this is kind of the list that I came up with some of the best things about San Diego, and then also some of the biggest negatives and things you're really going to notice if you do decide to jump in and move here. Now, if you have any questions on San Diego, or you're just trying to figure out if this is the right place for you, that is what me and my team is here for. We'd love to be a real estate resource of choice. So feel free to reach out. All of our information is right there down below. And I have a couple other videos right here that are going to be extremely helpful as well. Maybe I'll see you there.